Welcome to This Week in Baseball for the week of June 20th, 2024. Did I almost say 2020? Yes, I did.
Probably.
Lots and lots of injury news this week, unfortunately. So we're going to start with the happy. And the happy is that Gerrit Cole is back pitching in the major leagues. On Wednesday, he has pitched so far. Is he through 5?
Well, he got through 4 and then he came out.
Oh, they took him out after 4?
Yep.
Okay.
He gave up 1 run. He struck out 5. And the best part was that he was looking really unhappy in the dugout. Like, when Gerrit Cole pitches, he's like super locked in, not smiling or anything.
Yeah.
He's got his game face back on, and he's very upset.
His resting
pitch
face.
Way too happy. Yeah, he seemed like way too happy when he was on rehab assignment. When he was talking with the broadcast teams, he was like laughing, smiling. It's like, that's not Gerrit Cole. We want the Gerrit Cole that's got his game face on.
RPF. We gotta have it, and we got it. How many pitches did he throw? Do you know?
I do not.
Or are they just easing him into it? I'm guessing.
I assume so. I mean, he had a fairly lengthy rehab assignment, which made a lot of sense with the position that the Yankees are in. There's absolutely no reason to rush him into this. And there's really no reason to push him in the early going or at any time during the regular season, in my opinion, right? Like, obviously, he's probably going to start going deeper into games because he's Gerrit Cole and he's going to want to do that. But the Yankees are in like such a fortunate position to be able to not have to force anything at this point. They're happy to just coast for a bit.
Yeah. And this Yankees team to me is scary now that he's back. I mean, it was scary before. They're the first team to 50 wins. This is the best Yankees team that we have seen in how long you think? 16 years? 2008-ish? 2009?
They won the 2009 World Series.
Yeah, and then after that, they kind of fell off pretty quick and then just kind of stayed middle of the pack, right?
I don't know about fell off. They were making the playoffs every year.
Yeah, but they were staying in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. I would have to do a little bit more digging to say that they haven't had a team this good since then. But yeah, I agree. Like, this is a very, very good team. They've been great.
But yeah, 51-24. They've got a 2.5 game lead in their division. They're a game and a half ahead of the next best team in the Phillies. So, they're in prime position right now to kind of ease Cole back in and then just go on an absolutely torrid tear, if that's even something they can do. Because, I mean, with Heel, with Rodon, they've been getting fantastic starts, even with Cole out. So, can they really get that much better, or are you just replacing uncertainty for the long term, but pitching really well right now with certainty for the long term? What is the impact here from bringing Cole back?
I mean, definitely the impact is positive, but from a 1-to-1 replacement, Cole couldn't have been expected to pitch as well as Luis Heel did in his place. You wouldn't even expect him to do that well. So that's what has floated this team. That's been the difference.
Yeah.
And it's not like I think Luis Heel is a 2.03 ERA true talent pitcher. That he's not. But going forward, they're in good hands if their number 5 starter is Nestor Cortez or Marcus Stroman. It's an awesome place to be.
Stroman was the other guy that I was forgetting.
And he's pitched to a 3.08 ERA in 84 2/3 innings.
I still dislike him.
This thing. You still dislike him, but you can't argue that he's not a good pitcher.
I'll try, but I'm not going to succeed.
It's going to be tough, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now I guess we should talk about the unfortunate injury news, of which there is much of them.
Oh God.
First and foremost, Mookie Betts broke his hand, and I'm very, very sad. Hit by pitch, got him square in the hand. He went to the ground and was down for minutes. And you might be saying it's his hand. Why couldn't he just walk off? It was that much pain. Like, I've never seen that man like show pain ever. But holy crap, that was not fun to watch. So that's a big blow to the Dodgers. Granted, they're a fantastic team and they'll still do fine, but like, he's their second best hitter behind Shohei.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the case that he's their best player, all around player, maybe.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, like he's an irreplaceable type player. But if you're the Dodgers, what do? Do you just say, we'll be fine. We don't need to care. We'll just ride it out with Miguel Rojas. He'll hold down the fort for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll get back to Mookie. Or do they go out and they try to acquire a legit shortstop? Which I don't know who that guy is. Like, it's not coming to me off the top of my head.
Yeah,
do you have any candidates?
I don't know that there's any like obvious
I don't think there's
moves.
a surefire guy out there. I don't think there's like a true MLB starter type player that's just available at shortstop, because shortstop's such a position where you've got your entrenched guy. He usually never platoons. Like, there's no platoon shortstops out there. You're a shortstop. You're an everyday player. Your team wants you there. So that guy's not necessarily getting traded unless he's on a rebuilding team that is trying to like offload before the guy reaches free agency or something. And I don't know if that guy is out there. So then you start looking to backup shortstops, and maybe there's a guy that would be a fit as like a defensive upgrade or something at this point.
Yeah, and like I feel like on the trade market, your best option is going to be, and it's not going to be this guy, but it's going to be a guy like this guy. It's going to be a guy like Brandon Crawford, a guy who still defensively is plus. Bat is better than Miguel Rojas, but I don't know that I would say by a ton. But like, I think that's where your upgrade is like, you're not going to get a ton more defensively upgraded on Miguel Rojas, but offensively you could get a little bit of an upgrade from some guys or from some teams' bench, but like, it has to be one of the few teams that's not somehow in contention, because it seems like the entire National League is in contention for a wild card spot, at least. Like, the Rocky.
This is a totally random one, and I don't see this as likely, but what if the Dodgers say, we're looking for something more long term, and we're okay like paying up a little bit because we want a real shortstop, and they go get like Zach Neto from the Angels.
Zach Neto, I doubt that they'd be able to get it done, but Ezekiel Tovar potentially.
Yeah, well, he just signed like the big contract extension.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, maybe there's a player in the Guardians or Reds organizations that's a middle infielder that would be an upgrade. Like, we're getting close to the point where Noelvi's coming back. Like, actually, wait, how close are we?
I think next week. It's like June 27th.
Yeah, and he's allowed to play rehab games, right?
He's been playing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we're at like, what, 75 games, 74 games right now? So he's got like
a week from now.
Yeah. So maybe Noelvi, because he was a guy that already like sort of didn't have a spot. So you could do something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think most likely situation is they just either punt and stick with what they got, or they get like a backup like Taylor Walls or something.
Who's Miami got right now? Hit short.
Tim Anderson, who has a 400 OPS.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I was thinking they had one of the old Rays guys.
That does feel kind of Dodgers-ish, though. Go after like some veteran player and then make them good all of a sudden. Like
Yeah.
I could actually see that.
Which, I mean, that's kind of why I said like a guy like Brandon Crawford is like some guy
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
clearly over the hill, and then just somehow it works.
Squeeze some little more out of the.
I
The
mean,
guy
they've
you
made
think
Jason
you've been
Hayward relevant
watching.
again, so why
Yeah,
not?
for 2 years.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. All right. Well, I guess we should probably talk about the other big Dodgers injury, though, and that is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who has, I believe, is it lat? Tricep strain. So how long is he going to be out?
I think it's kind of unclear at this point. He's being shut down for weeks now, and then they'll play it by ear. I feel like Yamamoto has gone under the radar for me personally. I know there's been all the hype around Shota when Yamamoto got all the offseason hype.
Yeah, but then that the first game out in Korea, everyone went, "Oh, Yamamoto sucks," and then they quit paying attention. And the dude since that day has been amazing.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like he's been great. He's been as advertised. It's just gone under the radar on that specific team with the stars that are his teammates, and then what other guys have done around the league that have been out of this world, freakishly good starts to seasons.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, because I'm just looking like a 2.92 ERA, a 2.67 FIP, gives up less than a home run per 9 innings, but not like incredibly suppressed low. Like it's not like
in Japan. It's like 0.1 homers per 9.
Yeah, like he's at like 0.73 homers per 9. So that's sort of a sustainable number. Maybe still a little low, but
it's low, but he's always had low home run totals in his whole career, so you kind of expect that.
Yeah. Striking out 30%, not walking hardly anybody. Like he's just
he's an ace.
Really
he's an ace
good.
Pitcher.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Hopefully it's not something major. I always get scared with like a triceps injury, you know, that's directly connected to your elbow. So hopefully it's nothing too serious.
I don't remember that in the song. The triceps bone's connected to the elbow bone. Doesn't add up. I don't think that's a lyric. Whatever.
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah. Hopefully someone in Twitch chat can tell me if I'm wrong there.
All right. Give me the more bad news.
Kyle Bradish.
Oh God, Kyle Bradish. This one I specifically want to talk about because of the way it played out, right? So Kyle Bradish in February diagnosed with a UCL sprain, but we're not going to do Tommy John surgery. We're gonna rehab this. We're gonna give him injection, platelet-rich plasma injection, and see what happens. And he recovered, and they said, you know, his UCL sprain is really healing at a rapid rate, and he comes back and he pitches just like the Kyle Bradish we saw last year. He was great. He did really well. He was throwing really hard too, and that freaked me out because I was like, man, this guy comes off a UCL sprain and he misses multiple months of the season, and now he's throwing harder than he threw before. This is probably not going to end well, and unfortunately, Kyle Bradish underwent the internal brace Tommy John procedure yesterday or today. So,
well, and he's now
going to be missing.
He's now the third Oriole pitcher in the last like 3 weeks to get Tommy John, isn't he?
I don't know about
because was it Dean? Did Dean Kremer?
Oh, it was John Means.
Oh yeah, John Means, and then there was a reliever.
Dean Kremer, I think, has got his own injury, but I don't think it was Tommy John. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think there was another guy.
Actually, wait, I was trying to figure out the right way to figure it out. I guess I could just go to roster resource and just scroll down and see who's out with Tommy John.
Yeah. How
Was
about
it Tyler Webb? No, yeah, Dean Kremer and John Means and Kremer had a strained triceps, but I think
looks like Tyler Wells had it earlier this year.
yeah.
Oh no, that was literally 2 days ago. Oh my god. You see that? Right there on the 60-day IL.
Oh, yeah. I just saw the retroactive date to the 13th of April. I didn't even see that the surgery was this week.
Yeah. So they've had 3 guys with
Oh, the other one was Danny Coulomb had elbow surgery. It wasn't
yes,
Tommy John. It was
not
to
Tommy
remove
John.
a bone chip, but
Right.
it like
So four
two
guys
elbow
within.
surgeries that those guys went down on like the same day, or like two of those guys had their surgeries today.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask, what do you do if you have this situation? I think you can't really blame the Orioles for doing it this way. It's just like one of those things that's like, what are you supposed to do? Just preemptively have the surgery and save a little bit of time, or hope that you're the rare exception that can not have to deal with the Tommy John surgery, or like somehow pitch through it. Like one in 1 in 100, is the guy that can somehow pitch with the partially torn ligament or
Well, and
whatever.
usually those are the guys that are throwing 91. So I don't know, but I'm just looking like trying to figure out what this is a team that was already down to only having two of their opening day starters in Corbin Burns and Grayson Rodriguez. Or I guess they had three. They had Bradish, Burns, and Grayson.
Radish wasn't there in opening day.
Oh yeah, crap. Okay, so
He
they were
missed like
down
the
to
bumper.
two
Yeah.
then. But like their what's their team record? It's 47 and 25. They're only a couple games out from first place, but now they're down another starter. So they're rocking out Albert Suarez, who's a free agent they signed out of the KBO in September of last year. Cade Povich, who they got in the trade that netted them Yenyer Cano and Felix Bautista, right? And Cade Povich, all
Yeah.
for
You remember who that reliever was?
I do, because it's the one that just got released by the Mets.
Yeah, and the Cubs just picked him up actually.
Crap, what's
His
his
name is
name?
Jorge Lopez.
Yes, that's I could picture his face. I just could not think of his name. um yeah, so like, and then Cole Irvin, who they got from Oakland before last season. So not exactly a rotation that you look at and you go, ah. Well, maybe you do, but it's because it's kind of bad.
Yeah, but then again, this is now 2 years in a row where on paper they look kind of underwhelming, but they're getting results. I mean, look at what Albert Suarez has done. He's like a 30-plus-year-old journeyman who's been great
35-year-old
just given the
journeyman.
spot. 35-year-old journeyman. I mean, Cade Povich is a pretty solid prospect, and you know Burns and Rodriguez are doing their thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just you kind of feel bad for them because it seems like this is a situation they find themselves in every single year. Like they'll have a couple
Yeah.
good guys and everyone else goes down with injuries. And only the last 2 years have they been able to get through it. But all right, so I'm going to need you to tell me about these next couple guys because I don't really know what their issue or what their injuries are. Bo Bichette.
Okay. Bo Bichette, he's got a calf strain, so he's on the IL. The Blue Jays called up
Elvis
Elvis
Martinez.
Martinez. And Bo seemed like he was kind of turning the corner, like playing a little bit better, but overall, it's been a trying time for him. And yeah, maybe he was playing through injury or something. I don't really have anything else to add on that.
Tony the Riz. I know he
And
broke
then,
his hand, right?
yeah, yeah, he broke his arm running down the first baseline, colliding with the first baseman. And maybe the good news is that he doesn't need surgery. So maybe it's like a non-displaced fracture of some sort. But he's going to be out for at least 5 weeks, which is probably going to end up being 8 weeks with rehab assignment and everything. Um,
Yeah,
The
because
Yankees called up Ben Rice to take his place, and Ben Rice is like a converted catcher who has been mashing through the minor leagues this year, and he gets his chance.
yeah, but for Rizzo's sake, I hope that it ends up healing as quickly as Wilson Contreras did. Because Contreras was expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks, but he's going to be back probably this coming week, which I think would be somewhere around 5.
So, like, you're telling me the big four of the Cubs are all injured right now,
Yeah.
and they're all bad?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, they're not all
not
bad.
Contreras.
Wilson was really good, and then like he was the only good thing about the Cardinals, and then yeah,
Yeah, he
St-
left, and then the Cardinals got good somehow.
yeah, I don't understand that,
Yeah,
but and then somehow Pedro Pages has 2 home runs,
yeah, that was frustrating.
both in Wrigley. One of them very
Yeah,
well deserved because he hit it out through the blowing in wind. The other one definitely aided by the wind.
yeah.
All right, Carlos Correa.
Oh man, Carlos Correa is doing some crazy stuff. In the month of June, 15 games played. How about this slash line? 452, 478, 677 with 4 home runs. Guy is like on fire. We haven't seen this Correa in a while. Last year, slowed by the plantar fasciitis. Not his best year, probably his worst year actually. But this is kind of like the Correa that the Twins thought they were getting when they signed him to the big contract. Um, yeah, I always felt like he was going to get back to this guy. I didn't feel like last year was a good representation of the player that he is. I thought he would be a guy that kept playing well just because of the skills that he kind of had, and that's what he's doing. Like overall numbers look great this year: 317, 379, 517. I
Well,
mean,
even if
not
you look at last year compared to his career, just as far as an aging curve is concerned, like that was way steeper than an aging curve too.
yeah,
Like it was
it was a fluke
blatantly
year. It
obvious
was an
that it,
injury.
yeah,
Yeah,
like it was
agreed.
blatantly obvious it was injury.
And we kind of forget because Correa has been around for so long. Guy's only 29. He's still got potentially some prime years left before he even hits the aging.
Yeah. Now another guy who's coming back from injury and playing incredibly well in the American League Central, Royce Lewis. Month
Yeah.
of June, Royce batting 318, 380 OBP, 773 slug with 6 home runs. And yeah, dude is basically the offense for the Twins now that I believe Buxton has maybe another hamstring injury.
No, Buxton's still going.
Oh, I thought
Unless he
somebody
got
on
hurt
their team
today.
just had a hamstring strain the other day.
Uh, I think Kirilov had an interesting situation. He got optioned to the minors, then they found out he had an injury, and that actually reverts the option. So he's like placed on the injured list
Oh,
because the injury occurred in the major leagues.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really change anything that he's not with the team anymore. But
Yeah.
um, with Royce Lewis, I just continue to marvel at what the guy has done. We've been talking about Royce Lewis for how many years? He's played in 3 separate seasons,
100
yet
years.
he's only played 83 career games. Yet in those 83 games, he's somehow compiled 95 hits, 24 home runs, and then a few more home runs in the postseason last year. 6 stolen bases, a 314 batting average. That's 165 OPS plus.
I mean,
And
he's on pace for like uh what, a 130 RBI season.
Yeah, 47 homers, 133 RBIs, uh, 185 hits. Like the guy is insane because he keeps getting hurt, and every time he comes back, there's zero rust. Like he's doing what Willie Mays never did. he this man has no flaws. He's a robot baseball player
Well,
that's never
he
hit
has a
any
couple flaws. He's
that
always
he just
hurt.
can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
how
but
how did he do this?
83 career games, 3.9 career WAR.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's guys who've played 10 years who don't have 3.9 career WAR.
Right.
Hey,
So all that, remember how I'm just raving about Byron Buxton and how I want him to put together a full season and want to see what that looks like?
yeah, ditto.
Just insert Royce Lewis into that sentence,
And,
and that's what I want.
honestly, I'm at the point now where Buxton, half a season,
Yeah,
we're cool with
exactly.
it.
Whatever.
Royce.
Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, tell me about the Nats pitching.
Okay, so can you name any guys in the Nationals rotation? Not
Mackenzie
named
Gore.
Patrick Corbin.
Mackenzie Gore, Kate Cavalli,
Cade Cavalli.
Jackson Rutledge?
No. Cade Cavalli's had Tommy John surgery in early 2023, actually.
Oh.
He's been out for a while.
I don't know. Is Joe Ross still in the league?
Joe Ross is on the Brewers.
Oh. Steven Strasburg?
Nope.
Max Scherzer? Jordan Zimmerman?
Nope. No. You're nailing the greatest hits, though.
Yes.
But
no, honestly, outside of Jackson Rutledge, Cade Cavalli, and Mackenzie Gore, I don't know. Oh wait,
well, I just gave you one. I gave you another one, like at the beginning of this segment.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin or something.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin. Yeah.
So wait, no, hold on. Who's the? Don't they have another young guy? The guy that came from the Dodgers trade. Along with Cabert. Shoot, who was that?
That guy. That was that was Josiah Gray. He's hurt.
Yeah, okay, Josiah Gray.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, no, but who's actually on this rotation?
So who's actually in this rotation? Mackenzie Gore, I'll start off by saying, like, he's the one that makes sense. He was a former top prospect. He was part of that Soto trade. He was supposed to be good, and he kind of is. 3.24 ERA, like 91 strikeouts in 75 innings. That's good stuff. Mackenzie Gore has arrived, but the other three guys that are filling out the rotation right now, Jake Irvin, Mitchell Parker, and recently promoted DJ Hers, who in his second major league start shows up one hitter with 13 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. Yes.
Who?
DJ Hers. He was
all three of them.
Yeah.
Who?
You've never even heard of these guys.
No.
Amazing.
That's like Irving Lopez, who apparently is a rookie for the Cardinals. Who? No. I don't know.
Okay, let me familiarize you with these guys. So Jake Irvin, he's a guy that pitched for them last year too, but he really was more of like the command specialist, like nothing exciting in the profile. It's just like one of those back end type starters. Like, okay, fine, he's on a bad team, but this year, 3.24 ERA, almost a strikeout an inning, and he's done it over like 86 innings to lead this team in innings pitched. Jake Irvin. So there's one guy. Number two, left-handed pitcher Mitchell Parker, who was drafted in 2020, and he's pitched to a 3.06 ERA in 67 and 2/3 innings.
What round pick was he in 2020?
5th round pick.
So the last
there were only
round.
5 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final guy, DJ Hers, who was traded from the Cubs to the Nationals for Jeimer Candelario last year. Guy has like crazy strikeout numbers in the minor leagues. Horrible command. He's only made like 3 starts so far, but 3.77 ERA. I mentioned the great start that he had with 13 strikeouts and 1 hit allowed over 6 innings. Are the Nationals like figuring something out on the pitching side? Because this is impressive.
I honestly don't know. I hope so.
You didn't know these guys,
yeah.
but
Like, I fully believe Mackenzie Gore is going to be good. I still have belief that Josiah Gray is going to be good. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I believe. And I don't believe in a whole lot. So, but I don't know. Like it maybe like they've been good at pitching in the past. Like I don't doubt that they could develop pitching.
I've actually forgotten one guy because he's on the injured list. Trevor Williams, who was pitching great before he went down with injury.
And Trevor
talked
Williams
about him about a month ago.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah. We got to give him some credit here.
And they do have the young talent coming up on the offensive side of the ball too. And CJ Abrams finally breaking out. Kabert is a solid catcher. Like I have no issues with Kabert. And then
he's been miserably bad. Don't look at his numbers this year.
I'm just gonna pretend like he's still good. James Wood is
close.
Yeah. Brady House is close, I think, right?
I'm not sure about him.
But like it seems like the Nationals here in 2 years could be good.
Hey, let's not forget about this season. They're literally right in the thick of the wild card race in the terrible National League.
That is actually, I think they might be tied for the second wild card right now with the Cardinals.
There's like 9 teams that are within 2 games.
Yeah, they're tied for the second wild card with the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, so this totally gets weird if a team like the Nationals says, "Hey, why can't we stick around?" Then that's like one team that you were kind of banking on being a seller that ends up holding steady or even buying, and things could get really weird this year.
The Mets are just casually on a 7-game winning streak after having Grimace throw out the first pitch. Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense.
All right. Last thing. Do you remember, this was a long time ago, last week when we talked about all the gambling stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over.
Was that only last week?
It was last week.
What?
Wait, was it 2 weeks ago? What did we talk about last week?
I don't recall.
I don't either. Now you have me second guessing. I thought it was last week.
Like I said, it's been a long week.
Who are you? I don't know who you are.
I am Jake Irvin. I pitched for the Washington Nationals.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago. All right. Remember way back when, 2 weeks ago, when we talked about all the gambling? Yeah,
I do, unfortunately, yes.
Now we have an umpire that's betting on baseball?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what happened.
They found enough evidence that they levied a punishment that they can't make public because he's appealing it.
Correct,
so after the appeal, but something happened with Pat Hoberg that he was deemed to have violated some of the gambling rules. However, they did say they have not found any evidence of him gambling or on games that he was calling. They did publicly say that. We don't really know the rest, but all I know is a week after, or a week and a half after, those 4 player suspensions were handed out, including the permanent ban of, I've already forgot his name.
Tucupita.
Yeah, Tucupita Marcano. There we go. Now we got umpires getting in trouble for it.
Yeah, but
which
just to clarify,
hasn't been on the field at all this year.
Yeah, it was something that happened. The suspension, if you want to call it that, was handed down in spring training of this year, so he hasn't called a game at all since then.
Well, so his official suspension was just handed down, but they moved him to being in New York as basically when Angel was being punished for sucking, and they moved him to New York to be in the video room.
So he's actually doing that?
I thought so.
How does that make any sense?
He's not.
Why would they let him be involved in baseball games if he's suspended?
Because I don't think they had any evidence to suspend him, but since they were investigating him, they moved him to a less impactful role. until they could levy a suspension. Maybe that's not exactly how that happened, but that's how I understood it. Just because I think it's kind of with the union, they can't just like not assign you games. Like you have to have a reason.
The reason is
we're investigating him for gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
anyways,
so Pat Hoberg.
It's once again, it just feels like we're just at the tipping point here. It's like it's gonna get bad potentially.
Well, and the umpires one is the one that concerns me the most, because umpires directly affect every part of a baseball game. They have to make some kind of decision every single play. Now, a lot of the times it's a pretty cut and dry, like, hey, he hit the ball, it was a pop-up, that guy caught it, he's out. You can't really, like, screw that up because it would be blatantly obvious, but technically you do have an impact on every single pitch. I mean, I still think maybe the infield fly rule in the 2012 wildcard game, that would have been a gambling thing. It benefited me, but it screwed someone else.
I guess I have forgotten that or blocked that from memory.
Yeah, where it was like 20 feet behind the grass, and they called an infield fly, and he dropped it. Oh. Yeah. But, oh well. So yeah, don't gamble on baseball.
Correct.
Except for maybe you, if you don't play baseball. Then go give them all your money.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really all we got for you. What do you think? You got anything else?
Yeah. No, that's all I got.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. We will see you back here very soon for another episode of Getaway Day.
If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Getaway Day Pod. If you enjoy card collecting, check out our sister YouTube channel at Getaway Day Cards.